Really
And yeah,
cool.
so that's why I contacted you. I'm like, hey, look at that. There's a new room. Maybe I'll go and try that thing.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready? Let's get
Excellent.
the show on the road.
We'll see if my 5-year-old comes down here and interrupts us.
Let's hope your 5-year-old doesn't come down here. So I guess
Yeah.
this would be the part we'd have some like theme music or something. Be like, "You're on camera with Brian." We're here with Ed House.
Hey,
Is that
Brian.
right? Did I spell that right? Did I pronounce
You
that
spelled
properly?
that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Living.
Very nice. Where are you from? Tell me a little about yourself, Ed.
I grew up in Perry Sound. Was there, most of my childhood and through my teens, and then I've moved around a lot. But I'm in Southern Ontario now the last 20-some years.
Oh wow. Yeah, you've been doing comedy for a bit, or this is a new thing? What's happening?
Yeah, I did comedy in the late '90s. I moved down to Toronto, and my buddy Ben said, "Hey, you should try comedy down here." He says, "You just got to keep calling into Yuck Yucks, for weeks and weeks and weeks. Eventually, they'll get sick of your name, and you can go on." I'm like, "Okay." So
You'd be
I
calling
called
them so
in.
much they're gonna think you're famous because, like, hey, I heard about that guy. Yeah, I heard about that.
There's a buzz on the street about this guy. What happened was, though, I called in the old days. You got to call on the telephone. You call back and hear the recording. So I called in on Sink or Swim Mondays. Called back at 3 o'clock to see if my buddy Ben was on. He wasn't, but I was. So I had like 3 hours to kind of think about what am I going to do, right? So I thought about 3 things that I would talk about when I got on stage, and they introduced me as the tallest comedian they'd seen in a long time, and I'm 6'5". So I got up on stage and I forgot about everything that I was planning to do, and I just talked about being tall for 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
And I thought it went okay. I still have the VHS tape of that, and I've watched it once. It's pretty disturbing. So
Was that your very, very first time ever getting up kind of like that?
So I was a bartender at Teachers College. I was in North Bay, and one time the band was late, so they got up and got me to tell some jokes, and I got some laughs, but I wasn't really doing stand-up. I just get up and talk to people. But I've always been able to do that, just tell a story on a bus, whatever, get some laughs. So
Yeah.
I like a good laugh.
Yeah, I do too. The reason why I do this mostly is because to meet new interesting people. Do you know what I mean? Like, Canada's so big, and we've all had life experiences that are so similar but yet so different, right?
Sure.
So it's really cool that that comedians are coming for this event, especially from all around different walks of life. You know what I mean? It's really cool. You ever put on a show before or anything, or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we put on a show last fall. My buddy Ben and I put on a show in Brantford here.
Okay, cool.
There's a guy named Doug Hunt. He was setting the world record for stilt walking. So we did a show to kind of promote him. That was last fall. We've done some shows in Jarvis. We used to do shows in Perry Sound all the time when we were younger. Yeah. Instead of trying to get stage time in Toronto, we just said, to heck with it, let's go to small locations and do shows. So,
now, for people who don't really know, what's one of the hardest things for you that you find when you're putting a show together? What's one of the hardest things?
What's one of the hardest things?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess one of the things that I take most seriously is who's going to be on the show. Okay. Yeah. So, we want a good variety of things, right? Of course, you want to have male and female comics. I always try to put on, it's easy to put on people of color because my buddy Ben has East Indian heritage, so we've got that covered. But that's important, right? I want to tell a story. So if the show's an hour and a half, 2 hours long, we want to have a flow, right? You can't just swing for the fences the whole time. There's some ups and downs, and it's storytelling. So we should take that fairly seriously. 100%. So that's hard. It's not hard to sell tickets. You go to Perry Sound, they got to get out of the house and do something in February, right? So yeah, that's not.
Do you find since because you've been doing this for a while, do you find a difference from before the pandemic versus now, kind of thing? Or how did you do? How did you do during the pandemic? So like how? Tell me a little bit about that.
So during the pandemic, I've got young kids. I mean, I even have young kids now. So they're even younger during the pandemic. So it was easy for me to hibernate here. Yeah. I wasn't one of the guys that tried to do backyard comedy or something like that. We were pretty much we built a tree house here. We built an ice rink. We did different things. Nice. I did a lot of writing during the pandemic. And of course, a lot of funny things came out of that. But I even worked on a book during the pandemic. So wow. So for me, comedy was I took a break from comedy really during that time.
Yeah, a lot of people took a break from what they were doing, usually work, you know what I mean? But most of us,
Yeah.
like me, I ate a lot. I watched
Sure.
a lot of TV, you know what I mean? So went close to the end of the pandemic, then I started snapping out of it a bit more, you know what I mean? Because
Sure.
it's so easy to get stuck in that being at home and everything and just not wanting to go out, right? So that's why this thing in Cambridge, I think, is going to be great because we're kind of getting people used to coming out again. We're keeping the prices low for the opening night, and because it's a 3-hour show, like you said, I want to make sure that there's entertainment, right? So we have you know amateurs, but I say amateurs only because it's not because they don't have talent. It's
Sure.
just maybe they haven't been discovered, or maybe they had to take a parenting, time to parent and stuff. You know what I mean? Like my co-host this Thursday, you're gonna come and check out Cabana's Got Talent. What can we expect? What are we gonna expect if we come when we get there?
So for me, I'm a middle-aged man, but I have young children, right? So I've got this new thing, which is fatherhood. So a lot of the stuff that I talk about is getting older, but having those kids. And I'm trying to think about what my next thing is going to be, right? I was never a comedian by trade, but I'm thinking maybe that's something that I could do, or maybe it's time for a change in vocation, right? For example, I always thought maybe I should have been a doctor. I thought it'd be kind of fun to be a doctor at this age, right? By the time I got through medical school, I'd be, pushing 60 years old, and I would go and see my first patients, and they'd look at me and go, look at this man. I trust this man. He's an experienced guy, but I would not have any experience at all. I think it would be a really remarkable situation to be in.
I,
So I
I
look
can
forward to my
see,
next career.
yeah, I can see that working for you. That you know what I mean. You already got the glasses.
Yeah. Hey, my handwriting's brutal. I'm ready.
Just give me that pad. Give me that pad. Just
I'm ready to go. Well, when you're a comedian, everybody says to me, "Hey, tell me a joke." I'd like to be a doctor and just say, "Listen, I'll do some surgery right now." Just lift your shirt. Lift your shirt.
Just give me a prescription, doc. Just give me a
Yeah.
prescription.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about comedy? What's your favorite thing? Like, why did you even start this in the first place? Like, actually getting up because I'm sure you're not doing this for the money at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
your life
No.
is built, right?
Yeah. So a buddy of mine said to me one time on a school bus. We used to ride a school bus an hour each way to high school from where I lived. And this guy Jim Dryden said to me, "Ed, you should be a comedian." And I didn't even thought about that as a possibility, right? And he used to watch a lot of comedy. I said, "Well, why?" He goes, "Because you can tell a great story. You can make people laugh." So I never forgot that he said that. I never even thought about being a comedian from that point forward.
Yeah.
But I did realize that no matter what I did, whether I'm a teacher, right, whether I'm teaching high school, if I'm teaching a math class, if at the end of the class nobody laughed, I think that's a failure. Because it's like you can get kids to come out of their shell.
Yeah.
You can get kids to sort of enjoy themselves while they're at school through a good laugh. So that's pretty important to me. And I don't know. I try to make my kids laugh all the time. It's just it's good medicine, isn't it?
You can change the whole one person with a positive attitude. It could change the whole room. You know what I mean? And I notice, especially with kids, if you just let them, give them a little bit of a light, you know what I mean? They could really blossom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you've done a little bit of teaching and stuff in your time, or what?
Yeah, so I went to teachers college in the late 90s, and then there was a strike. So I ended up going into advertising for 5 years. That was my first career.
Yeah.
And a lot of laughs in that too. But at some point I saw people getting teaching jobs. I'm like, I should probably get into that before it's too late to make a career out of it. So I've been teaching since full time since 2005. So quite a while.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. I usually work with at-risk youth. Okay, so sometimes the curriculum isn't always the number one thing I'm trying to get across. But yeah, one of my kids just walked in here. I'm just on an interview. Okay, I need privacy for there. Thanks.
No. Yeah, we can edit that out too, or we can keep it in if it works.
Yeah. She's in a jiu-jitsu outfit. I thought she's gonna flip me there or something.
Right? This is a new age of interviews now. We're all in. At least you're wearing pants today. I hope.
Yeah, mostly. Oh yeah.
What were we saying before? Where you were, what you do. What
I
you
was
did
telling you
before.
about teaching. Just
Yeah.
teaching. Yeah, I work with at-risk youth all the time, so that's really what I've done most of my career. Either putting them into co-ops or putting them into college classes, or
Do you
whatever.
find that having a sense of humor and being into entertainment helps with that kind of?
Absolutely. I think the humor makes me pretty approachable.
Mm,
Okay. And just that I've had students talk to me probably about things that they wouldn't normally talk to me about. And they also know that, I'm pretty serious about their success. It's certainly not a job. I
mm,
used to make more money in advertising. I took a big pay cut to start teaching years ago,
mm.
when I was at the bottom of the grid, right? So it's, yeah, and the people that I work with too, same thing. We're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I always tell the students, I choose to work here. I can work anywhere. I'm a great teacher, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I've been told. So I choose to work with them, and it's pretty rewarding, actually.
Yeah. I think if you can do a job that you feel rewarded at the end of the day, I think
Yeah.
that to me, it makes your life have more purpose, more meaning, makes your day go by faster. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
everything, just amazing, right?
Some days are, challenging and frustrating, but when you get a student who invites you to their graduation, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's pretty cool.
Not as their date, but I mean just as
No. Yeah.
that would be a totally different. Yeah, you would really have to concentrate on comedy then, right? No, we're kidding. We're kidding. Yeah,
No.
one of the reasons why I'm doing the show in Cambridge Cabana as well is because I want to. It's a place where everybody's accepted. Do you know what I mean? And it's not. There's not going to be people offended. You could say what you want to say. Now, obviously, we're not. There's not going to be hate and stupid speech and trying agendas and all that stuff. None of that stuff. But I mean, it's at least it's a safe place. We all accept each other. We're all accepted. You know what I mean? I've known the owner since I was a kid, and even the owner, he used to have a band. My co-host used to have a band. They're in music. You know what I mean? So they understand this whole thing. So they want a lot of venues asked me for deposits and payments, and you know how they are sometimes. And sometimes the venue, they're making tons of money off the people, but they still want to take out of the promoters and the right.
Right.
But this place, this venue, they said, listen, everything that comes from that show goes back directly to the show. So
Cool.
it's really good. They have a lot of support. They're helping us out. And also, I want to give a chance for people who might not have the opportunity to be in front of a live audience, you know what I mean? To come, because if we said, hey, it's a talent show, people aren't gonna want to come. If we said, hey, it's an open mic, people aren't really gonna. But now we have a pro show in the middle. Oh wow, okay, I'll come see the up and coming people, and we at least even if they're no good, you know what I mean? But you guys are all great. Never mind, you know what I mean? But just in the person's mindset, they're gonna think, oh, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm really excited that that you're gonna be part of the show. This is great. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, people are going to be getting babysitters and getting ready to go out. So as much as we're amateurs, yeah, we're serious about making them.
Correct.
For sure. I'm just going to leave my kids here and lock the door, but.
Right, to come out, to get out now, to go out, it's a whole ordeal. You know what I mean? So we want to at least have a good show. And I mean, for $10 a ticket, that's free. That's what I mean. It's a $40 value, easy. I've seen all the other Cambridge shows and shows in the surrounding areas, $30-$40. And but what I want to do is I want to include as many people as possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even for us, like all of us, we all put in $10. But if you're performing, you can bring someone with you. Do you know what I mean? So it works. It's just to kind of keep it fair, or else there's going to be 100 people, and then this way we kind of pick who we want, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, this is going to be an exciting show. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. I don't even know what else to say. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to Cambridge in a while, so if I've got some warranty work to do on the jet, I'll do that on the way by.
Yeah, it's going to be great. There's people coming from Toronto, some Guelph. We have a friend from London. I'm coming from Stratford, and then we have some Cambridge comedians as well. So I have the list. Oh, I have the list right here, and there you are, Ed, right there at 7:45. So if you want to catch, Ed House. I pronounced that right? Ed House?
Yeah. He's like the doctor.
Yeah, that's like, swear to God, maybe you were supposed to be the doctor. Who knows?
I know.
You know, if this thing doesn't work out, hey, if Thursday doesn't work out, you could maybe be a doctor. You never know.
Sure. I'm already starting to limp at this age, so it might work.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Catch Ed House and all the rest of our comedians this Thursday. Cabana Got Talent, March 14th. It's going to be a weekly show, and I'm so excited, and I'm so glad that you're part of this. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a lot, Brian. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. We'll see you Thursday.
All right, that'll be awesome. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.